Okay, so now we're going to show you the A-Designs Nail Compressor. And there are a couple of features that are really fantastic that separate the nail compressor from everybody else that's out there right now. Sonically, it's just heads and tails, I think, above everything else. But more importantly, there are three features that are truly outstanding. One is the hard threshold. Let's take a look at this. Hard threshold on here. Two is kind of a dry, wet mix between the compressor and the direct signal that you've got coming in. That's the second thing. And the third thing is this filter here.
The nail's frequency setting applies a high-pass filter to the sidechain. Any frequencies below the high-pass setting won't trigger the compressor. So if you have material that gets a lot of bass or a strong kick, that low-frequency energy won't drag down the volume of the rest of the signal. This can come in really handy for drum overheads or especially a two-bus compressor where you don't want strong lower frequencies to trigger compression on the entire track.
The first thing we're going to do is we're going to engage the stereo link. Now you've got two functions of the metering. You've got gain reduction and you've got output level. And those toggle switches are here. Okay? If you want to see the gain reduction versus the level, that's this top toggle switch. Now you're watching the output level, and that's the gain reduction switch. So now let's get into a couple of the specifics of each feature of the nail. The first is the threshold. So the threshold is the level at which the compressor starts to grab the audio that's going through it. So now we've got the threshold and the hard threshold. The hard threshold will attenuate sounds that just have a peak to them, such as if you've got a snare that's just crashing through on your drum kit or on the overall 2 mix. The hard threshold will just lightly attenuate that snare and tuck it back into the track, while the rest of the threshold will hold the rest of the track together. It's a really unique feature where snares just don't jump out or anything just doesn't jump out and mess up the rest of your compression that's going on inside the nail. The next button we've got going on is the attack button. Now this is pretty self-explanatory, how fast that attack is grabbing or how slow the attack is grabbing of the sound that's going through the nail. Faster attack would be here, and slower attack will be here. Okay? The next feature that we have is the gain feature. Now this is your output adjustment for your program material that's coming through the nail. This is the output of the nail. So if you have program material come through, and this is not in the stereo link, the gain function inside the nail are both independent. So each one, left and right, function independently. So this knob is the release knob. It allows you to have the release of the compressor to be longer or shorter in time period, just like the attack knob is a shorter attack or a longer attack. The last function on this is the direct and compressor, which is like a mix between wet and dry, if you were using another analogy. The direct is your direct signal that's coming into the compressor, and the compressor side is what happens after the nail has processed it and it's gone through the compressor. So let's recap. You've got three wonderful new features on the nail compressor. You've got the direct versus compressor, you've got the hard threshold, and you have the high-pass filter. And those three things, unique to this because this is a solid state hybrid with a tube, it gives you a really unique, rich character that is, I just haven't found anywhere else on the market.